Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Chinedu Abwe, and in this particular video I'm going to be talking about 7 keys that will enable you to prosper in the United Arab Emirates. And this channel is dedicated to bringing you ideas, wisdom, tips, job opportunities, business opportunities, anything that is required for you to prosper and to do well in the UAE. So I start with the first key, and that is vision. Many of us came from different backgrounds, different mindsets, different cultural environments, and we all come into the UAE having expectation of big things. Many people came because they want to make some money and send back to their loved ones in their home country. Some other people came because they want to have a better life for themselves. Whichever is your reason for coming. For some people, they came just to enjoy the environment and go back. But the point about vision is, whatever is your reason for coming to this land, focus on it. You will come into the UAE and you will see the wonderful architecture, the beautiful sights, all the fun places, all the wonderful activities, and if you're not careful, you may get distracted and carried away. But if you really want to prosper in this land, always remember the reason why you came and focus on it. Stay on the ball until you achieve the desired results that you want. The second key that will enable you to prosper in the UAE is faith. You really need to have faith. You have to have that conviction, that belief that you're going to prosper in this land. And once you have that belief and that conviction, it opens up the doors of opportunity and it gives you the right attitude that makes you leverage on opportunities when you see them. And faith is such an important thing, even in every other aspect of our lives, because faith makes you stand up even when things don't seem like they're okay, knowing that if you go out there and put in your best effort, God is going to back you up. The third key is that you need to understand the laws and the culture of the UAE. Don't carry the mindset that you had in your home country and bring it into the UAE and expect that things will work the same way. No, it doesn't. This is a different environment. There are different dynamics, there are different people, there are different laws and policies. It's a different culture altogether. So if you really want to prosper and to thrive and to do well in this land, you have to understand the laws, understand the culture, understand the dynamics of how the UAE operates. And when you do, you increase the probability of you prospering in this land. Then another key I want to give you is that you also need to understand how the money flows. Money has a flow in every environment you go to. Understand where the money flows in the UAE. The UAE is predominantly a tourist environment, and then they have an oil base. So these are the two things that fund the economy of the UAE. Since you understand that, think about all the ecosystem, the different sectors and the different industries that support tourism, that support the oil sector, and then align yourself in that direction. That way you end up making yourself tuned in or primed or prepared to prosper and to thrive here in the UAE. Another point, another key, and very important key, is to try to learn the language, especially if you have a head for languages. Learn the language of the UAE, and that is Arabic. Arabic is the official language in the United Arab Emirates. And if you learn the language, it will open some interesting doors for you that you ordinarily would not have been able to enter if you don't know how to speak Arabic. Another key, which is also an important key, is to please make friends. It may sound simple, but it's serious. Make friends. When I first came into the UAE, I noticed that different nationalities tend to band in different communities. You know, the UAE is a multicultural and multinational society. So the Chinese tend to band together, the Filipinos tend to band together, the Arabians tend to band together, the different nationalities, Indians, Pakistanis, they all tend to band together. And so when business opportunities come, they tend to keep it within their own community. But if you're the kind of person that is open-hearted and liberal and can make friends, you will find out that there are interesting business opportunities and career opportunities that you can leverage that are not in your immediate circle of friends. And that has been one thing I have gained a lot from. I have a lot of Filipino friends, I have Indian friends, I have Pakistani friends, I have Arabian friends, I have Chinese friends, and I've been able to leverage on some strategic, important business opportunities that I came to know about just because I crossed my cultural and national barriers and made friends with people from different parts of the world. Then the final tip is to upgrade yourself by getting certifications. The UAE respects certifications, especially when those certifications are international certifications or certifications you got in the UAE itself. Now, these certifications prove that you're competent in a particular area, and when you get it, it opens the door of opportunity for you to get jobs or to be engaged to do certain kinds of work that your certification prove that you can do. In another video that I will do, I'm going to talk about the certifications that are trending in the UAE right now, and I will be talking about generic certifications that anybody can take irrespective of your knowledge base or your competence or your educational background. Thank you so much for watching to the end of this video. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, you can see that there is a whole lot that I'm going to be bringing out every single week, a whole lot of information about how the UAE works, about the opportunities in the UAE, about how you can prosper and thrive and do well in the UAE. Thank you once again, and see you in the next video. Remember, subscribe.